The Committee on Regulatory Reform will now come to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Carter.
Present.
Representatives Liberati.
Here.
Neely. Scott.
Present.
Young.
Here.
Grant.
Here.
McFall.
Here.
Snyder.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Mueller.
Here.
Filler. Wenzel.
Here.
Aragona. Bierlein.
Here.
Nyer.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 members. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Rep. Mueller moves to adopt the minutes from the May 16th, 2023 meeting. Seeing no objections, the minutes are adopted. Today we'll be taking testimony on Senate Bill 141, sponsored by Senator McMorrow, and House Bill 4561, sponsored by Representative Liberati. We'll also be voting out House Bill 4273, sponsored by Representative O'Neill, which we heard testimony on last week. So with that, we'll welcome Senator McMorrow to speak about our bill, Senate Bill 141. Welcome, Senator. I know you have limited time, so.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, members of committee, for having me over here in the House. It's an honor. I am here to testify on my bill, Senate Bill 141, which is an incredibly simple bill, but I want to give you a little bit of background. So, Charlie Sampson is a resident of mine in Clawson, and he bought a bar with his dad, and he was very excited to open it, and he opened in March of 2020. So you can imagine this was not ideal timing to be opening a bar. This was his life savings. His dad went in on this business together, and it was really tough for this small business to operate through the global pandemic that we all found ourselves struggling with. But what we knew was that a lot of our residents really wanted to make sure that our small business owners and especially our restaurants made it through. So necessity being the mother of invention, we looked around at states all across the country and how they were navigating this moment and noticed that a number of other states had already legalized both social districts and allowing cocktails to go. So we introduced legislation along with Representative Anthony, Senator Nesbitt. There were a number of us who authored the original legislation in 2020 to try this out here in Michigan. So the legislation requires that any cocktails be in a sealed container, that they be marked that they contain alcohol, and that anybody who places an order for these beverages, either having to pick them up or having them delivered to their home, must verify with an ID. So we have now been trialing cocktails to go for the past 3 years. And this bill is very simple. We want to build on the success of this. Charlie came in to testify when we talked about this bill in the Senate and really said that this legislation was a lifeline. It kept his business afloat. They survived, and now they are thriving. And I will be the first to say I have ordered a not small number of margaritas to go from Whiskey Taco Foxtrot in Clawson. So this is very simple. It eliminates the sunset. I'm thankful to Rep. Grant for your partnership in the House on this legislation, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you very much.
All right. Read the cards in. Not wishing to speak, but in support of the bill, John McNamara from the Michigan Restaurants and Lodging Association. Not wishing to speak, but in support of the bill, Mason Dorr, Scott Ellis, MLBA. Not wishing to speak, but in support, Leah Robinson from the Michigan Chamber. Not wishing to speak, but in support of the bill, Matt Sowash, Discus. Not wishing to speak, but in support of the bill, Brendan Ringlever, Michigan Spirits Association. And not wishing to speak, but in support of the bill, Paige Fultz from Laura. Next, we have testimony from Representative Liberati on House Bill 4561. And Spencer Nevins.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. House Bill 4561 would amend Section 609 of the Michigan Liquor Control Code to allow manufacturers and suppliers to modernize their business practices to industry standards, expanding the coupons they offer to include electronic rebate coupons for the purchase of alcoholic beverages. Amid a rapidly expanding digital coupon scene, consumers are saving 7% on their weekly purchases through couponing and rebates. Digital coupons and rebates are quickly overshadowing their paper counterparts, and the digital coupon market is poised to reach $29.7 billion by the end of 2031. Alcohol manufacturers and suppliers ought to be factored into that equation. Allowing them to offer the digital rebate coupons would elevate their industry into more modern times, allow manufacturers, retailers, and consumers to prosper. Individual consumers would spend less money, and manufacturers would be encouraged to build better brand loyalty. Establishing electronic rebates would also benefit the state by generating more economic activity and more tax revenue on alcohol profits. Spencer will get a little bit deeper in the weeds.
Morning. Thank you, Chair Carter and members of the committee for allowing me to speak. I'm Spencer Nevins, President of the Michigan Beer and Wine Wholesalers Association. We're here today, obviously, to support House Bill 4561. Thank Representative Liberati for introducing this. Coupons have been around and a big part of the industry for a long time. Right now, there is some confusion in the marketplace regarding electronic coupons. The ability to offer a coupon below cost, a retailer cost, or to tie it in with another product has been happening with paper coupons for a very long time, and the legislation, when it was introduced last year to allow electronic coupons, had prohibitions on those. It's caused a lot of confusion in the market. This bill is simply removing those two prohibitions so that electronic coupons will now operate the same way paper coupons are and remove all the confusion. So that's all I have to say. It's short for me, I know, but you know, I'm trying to be Brett Visner.
You caught me off guard. Any questions? Thank you for your testimony, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Not wishing to speak but in support of the bill, Shelley Stahl, Anheuser-Busch. Not wishing to speak but available for questions, neutral, David Marvin, Liquor Control Commission. Not wishing to speak but in support of Matt from Molson Coors. Not wishing to speak but opposes the bill, Matt Miner, Midwest Independent Retailers Association. Next, we have an amendment submitted by Representative Mueller for House Bill 4273. Rep. Mueller, would you like to speak to your amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Basically, what the amendment does is it would require the enforcing agency to notify the owner of any violation, but only notify the tenant if the violation constitutes a serious or imminent hazard, so it doesn't get too redundant. So if it's a hazard, they have to report it to both the owner of the building and the tenant, but if it's just like a broken handrail, they just have to report it to the owner of the building and not the tenant, for simplifying it.
Thank you, Representative Mueller.
And I move my amendment.
Thank you. So motion, a vote to accept the amendment. Clerk, call the roll.
Chair Carter?
No.
Representatives Liberati?
No.
Neely? Scott?
No.
Young?
No.
Grant?
No.
McFall? No. Snyder?
Pass.
Wilson?
Pass.
Mueller?
Yes.
Filler?
Yes.
Wenzel?
Yes.
Aragona? Beerline?
Yes.
Nyer.
Yes.
Should carry of 5 yeas, 6 nays, 2 passes. The amendment is not adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we need to report House Bill 4273, sponsored by Rep. O'Neill. Madam, call the roll. Motion by Representative Liberati. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Carter?
Yes.
Representatives Liberati?
Yes.
Neely? Scott?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Grant. Yes. McFall.
Yes.
Snyder.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Mueller.
Yes.
Filler.
Yes.
Wenzel.
Yes.
Aragona.
Yes.
Beerline.
Yes.
Nyer.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 14 yeas, 0 nays, 0 passes. House Bill 4273 is reported with recommendation.
We need a motion to excuse absent members. Who was that? Representative Filler moves to excuse absent members from today's committee meeting. There being no further business before the committee will stand adjourned.